Hello all, it's Mickey. Hello all you artsy folk. I do not have an intro for this channel yet, so just thank you for being here. Let me drink my matcha. This is good. This is the matcha powder by Jade. I think that's the brand name. Really good. So today is the long-awaited sketchbook tour. Many of you from my other channel have requested this, singing like snippets of it in my vlogs or on my Instagram story or on TikTok or wherever. And so today is the day, just on my art channel. So it's finally here, the sketchbook tour. I view myself as an abstract artist. If you don't think that my art is abstract, that is okay. But I just wanted to say that as an artist, you can't really tell an artist what their art is. The artist has dominion over their art, and they also don't have dominion over their art. So you can always have an opinion about someone's art, but if the artist feels that their art fits in a certain category or that's how they see their art, then that's how they see their art. Obviously, art falls into many different types of categories, but really it's subjective because everyone's brain and view of the world is different. So if you see my art as abstract, me too. If you do not, then that is okay. I do paint flowers. Those are obviously from real life, but the way that I paint them and the whole structure of my painting, as well as the process, I just feel it's all very abstract, just everything, not just the art, but the process behind the art as well. So that is why I view my art as abstract. If you don't, that is okay. But I'm just saying that hence the title, because I was showing my sketchbooks to like some of my family and they were like, that's not abstract. And I was like, it is, but it's okay if you don't view it that way. Second thing, this sketchbook is not fully finished. It has about 15 pages left in it, so it's almost finished. It's like right there, almost finished. This is a reminder, this is propaganda for you to finish your sketchbooks. It's important. I really feel like when you finish a sketchbook, you can see the evolution of your process, of your art style, of your growth in one place. If you keep doing a couple pages in one sketchbook and then buying another sketchbook and doing a couple pages in that, you don't have one place where you can see a growth over a certain period of time. Because depending on the size of your sketchbook, it can take you like a month or more to finish one. So that's a lot of growth and a lot of time passing in one place. And it's very important that you have that. So if you're that person that doesn't finish one sketchbook and keeps sketchbook copying, stop it. Finish your sketchbook, okay? This one's almost finished. At least almost finish it so that you can go back and look at your art. It's just a beautiful thing. I have that bad with journals though. I will buy another journal before I finish them. I just love journals, okay? But sketchbooks, I do try to finish them. Journals I try to finish too, but I'm just saying I understand. But please make the effort to finish the sketchbook. Let's hop into it. Finally, I'm excited to finish the sketchbook because I've already got the next sketchbook because I love buying art supplies. So let's get into this one. Hey, this is my sketchbook. She's a little ugly, but it's okay. My mom got it for me, so love you, Mom. I just put like these Hello Kitty stickers on it. Very cutesy. I still have so many of these stickers. I got them from Amazon in like a pack of like 100. So some parts I'm gonna have to flip it this way and this way so that you guys can see all the artwork. In my sketchbook, it's a very chill place. I have no expectations on myself when I come to my sketchbook. My sketchbook is for bad art, it's for art exercises, it's for fun, it's for release, and I also plan canvas paintings in my sketchbook, which I started to do later on. There's a whole evolution in this sketchbook. There are no expectations when I come to my sketchbook. You're going to see blank pages, unfinished pages, ugly pages, good pages. It's a sketchbook, and I feel like I always want to come back to that because when I'm trying to perform and make every page full and complete, I don't use my sketchbook as much because it's not fun anymore because I'm trying to perform. Yeah, this is my real and raw sketchbook and I hope you enjoy it. So this is the first page. I started this sketchbook months ago. I do not have the start and end date. I will make sure I do that in my next sketchbook. But this is the first page I ever did in here. My mom had got me some new acrylics and so I was playing around with them. And I'm not really sure what it is. There's like trees up here and then water down here, I think. I don't really know what's going on, but there is the first page. This next page is me practicing some henna designs because I love to do henna, and I just practice some designs in my sketchbook before I do them on my hand. So I definitely want to get more into henna. I absolutely love doing it. It's so different from like drawing that it intrigues me, because it's like, I thought it was gonna be just like drawing, but it's really not. So yeah, that's what this is. This is my first kind of experimentation with abstract art and flowers. So I was trying to do like some type of abstract background, and then I was doing like some flowers, and just like trying to learn shapes and how colors go together. And basically me seeing like a reference picture of like an AI flower, I didn't know it was AI at the time. These colors, I can make them go together now because I know more about colors than I did back then, but like, this is my first experimentation with putting colors together and with making type of abstract backgrounds that don't really have a structure to them. And I found that I liked that a lot. And this is also that. This is me going into that abstract style kind of like full on, and realizing like it was very freeing. I absolutely love doing this in my sketchbook. I was practicing with like some flowers and there's a lot of different shapes, and kind of like playing with different colors that I hadn't played with before. There's so many pages in this sketchbook that I would like to turn into canvas paintings. So if you think any of these pages will look good as like a full-on painting, then let me know, because I definitely want to do this again as a canvas painting, I think. Also, I forgot to mention this, but I do not like this sketchbook. The rings are literally like coming apart because of all of the mediums in here, and the pages just adding so much weight to the rings. So I do not like ringed sketchbooks. I would rather like book bound. And also this like vertical style, I kind of like it because I like the pages. But in my next sketchbook, I'm experimenting with not only a smaller sketchbook, but also like book bound and less of a vertical page. So I got some oil pastels from Hobby Lobby, and I was just like trying them out. I was trying to try out different mediums because in my journal I had put different type of mediums I wanted to try, and oil pastels was on that list. And so I went and got some and played with like these colors and mixing them together, seeing how well they mix together. But they didn't mix that well because they're like some cheap oil pastels. They weren't really like that great. I now have the Artesio oil pastels, and they're so good. I love them so much. I was just playing with like flowers and stuff. They kind of look like fireworks, but just playing around. That's what your sketchbook is all about, playing around. And this was also these oil pastels where I was trying to get them to mix better, and doing like some hibiscus and like some abstract backgrounds. I really like this page as well. I think I might make this into a canvas painting. I don't know. I really like how I did this flower. I think I was having lots of fun with these oil pastels. And I really like all these blues together. I've definitely got to do this combination of blue again. And this is me playing around with watercolor. My mom had got me like this watercolor set, and so I was trying to test all the colors, and then I ended up making this thing. And it's just these colors like coming together, and I was playing around with how much water I was using to see what type of different effects could come out. And that's why there's so many like splotchy spots, because I was using a lot of water. And the paper held up for like pretty well. So I mean, I would recommend the sketchbook, but like, it's just the rings. The rings are bothersome. And this is also another watercolor. I think there's another medium in here. No, this is just a watercolor page. Yeah, I was playing around with all the different colors, and I actually played around with mixing watercolor colors into different colors in the little like circle palette thing. And I really like that. I was able to create some colors that weren't in the palette on their own. I really like this page. I definitely am going to recreate this. Really just playing around. There's so much play in the sketchbook that it inspires me so much. Like, this sketchbook inspires me a lot because there's so much play in here, and you can tell that I was really like just letting my hand run free. And this was me trying to figure out if I wanted to do landscapes. So I'm really interested in like earthy things, plants, flowers. I'm not really interested in portraiture. Would bore me to death, honestly. I don't want to paint people, but it is a beautiful art form. I'm just not interested in it. And landscapes is something that I would be interested in learning, but there's a lot more fundamentals and foundations that go into that I'm willing to learn. But this is kind of like my first trying to do like a sky and stuff, and I think I messed it up and I put this color over it. At least I was experimenting and trying. I think I'm going to do it again in my next sketchbook, try to do some more landscape stuff, because I am interested in learning about it, but it's not as easy as it looks, honestly. It's really not. Okay, so we got a 2-pager. So This page is me trying to play around with colors I hadn't used before. And also keep in mind, this is before I upgraded my paint. So other than like the watercolor that you saw and the oil pastel, this was like apple barrel acrylic paint from like Walmart. So like I was trying to experiment and find my way with those paints, which is great because now the paint that I use is super expensive, and I wouldn't have wanted to use that paint back then when I didn't understand everything about it, you know what I mean? So I'm glad that I had this stage. So yeah, just playing around with some different colors. I remember hating this page so much, and then I didn't paint my sketchbook for like a little while, and I had to come back to myself and realize like, it's okay. Like no one's ever gonna see it. Well, so I thought, but it doesn't matter. You're supposed to make bad art. Bad art is just as important as good art. And then this page as well, where I think I was trying to use up the rest of the paint that I had mixed from here. And then I added like some different colors on top and like these flower things. I don't know, these are interesting. They kind of look like Venus flytraps. Now we're moving into me finding more inspiration and going off of real life. So what I started doing at this point in my sketchbook was I would go on Pinterest and look up flower arrangements, or like look up like lilies and things like that, and try to paint the lily from like real life. And that actually helped so much in me painting flowers going forward, because I mean, it's real life. I heard people that go to art school, I heard that they don't like doing like real life paintings like from real life and things like that, but honestly I actually liked it a lot. It was really fun, and I think it was because I wasn't trying to make it look like real life. I'm not a realism artist. I like surrealism and like less real looking things. So this was me playing in abstraction, playing with all the different colors. This was me playing with trying to put texture in my paintings, and obviously with apple barrel paint that was a little difficult, but what I would do is leave big globs of paint and let it dry that way, and I just wouldn't touch that area. And when I did touch that area, it would kind of smear like that, and that was nice. I created these different areas, have some lavender in here, this lily, and just like some flowers, really in my signature, and just playing around with different shapes and everything. And I was like trying to find my style. So I was having a lot of inspo at this point as well as this one where I played with more brighter colors, which I really love. I really came to realize that I really like working with pinks and orange and yellow. I really love yellow. It's one of my favorite colors to work with. And so I just added all this like in here, like some leaves, some different like textures. I was trying to get different textures. I put oil pastel on top of the acrylic paint that I put, and I really loved that. This is around the time where I realized I like working with different mediums, because earlier you saw that I used watercolor and then I put alcohol marker on top, and I really liked that. Like I really like working with different mediums together, so I started experimenting with the oil pastels on top of acrylic, and it came out nice. Definitely probably gonna turn this into a canvas painting. I just love how in my sketchbook there's just so much play and so much like freedom. Like I really didn't care about messing up what was under this. It's just so much layers, and I feel like when I work on canvas sometimes I lose that, because I like how one part looks, and I know like going over it I will lose that part. So I kind of want to come back to like this play. I really love this, and this was the first time of me painting an orchid. I absolutely love the way I painted this. I've painted orchids since, but they just looked a little more uniform, and I love how this has so much like color variety, and it doesn't look real, but I just like how it looks. So this was another attempt at like a landscape. I remember hating this so much too. Like I was getting so frustrated with the landscapes, and I don't know why. I just felt like why couldn't I do it? I just felt like this looked like a 5th grader trying to play and paint or something. But you know, I like it actually. You know, the flowers, I like how I did the grass, and I don't know, I think it was a fun exercise. I think like I said, I will be revisiting landscape paintings and trying to hone that in more. If you guys have any tips on like landscape paintings, please let me know, because I kind of struggle with them. And then this was a failure turned good, I guess, kind of. Was like painting it. I was painting the background, doing like my abstract gradients and things like that, and I'll go over it with textures and different shapes and stuff, and then I'll go in with like my flowers. But then I did something, I can't remember what it was, and then I started mixing this yellow paint, and I just took the brush and just did that. It was kind of because I was starting to hate it, but then that made it better. So that is a great example of how like your mistakes can become masterpieces in art. And it's really crazy how art is that way. Art is literally alchemy. Like there's so much that you can alchemize with art, because you can turn anything into anything, and you can even turn your mistakes into masterpieces. Like, nothing really is a mistake. The other page is blank, and this is actually just alcohol marker. So I have like coloring books, and so I have these Ohuhu acrylic markers because I use them in my coloring books. And so I was like, well, why not just free draw with them? And so this is what I did, because alcohol markers, you can push down the liquid and then like blend it. And I was experimenting that with this like aura circle, and I really, really liked it. And that's why I love alcohol markers so much. There's so much you can do with them, and I love Ohuhu. Like, I have 2 of their sets, and so I use both of those sets here, some pastel colors. Oh, and I just think that it's more forgiving than it looks. There's obviously some points that you can't come back from, but like, I really love this flower here. I love this sun. I love this page. It's very whimsical, very, very fairy. And I like how I did my signature in this one. I like the pop of color against the background. I think I want to make sure I adopt this more often to make sure it's another pop of color. The other page literally transferred some of this. This is the cheap oil pastels from Hobby Lobby, and the transfer, it's not horrible. Let me not do too much. It's not horrible, but it's kind of bad. Like, this whole page right here is like a little pink. This was me playing with the oil pastels and like more, like I wanted to experiment with them more, because I felt like I was being safe with them, because I wasn't used to how the texture is, and I could literally go in here and like blend it with my fingers. I did that a lot in here, just like, especially with this white flower, because I went in with a white and then I had to go over it with little bouts of pink and then in the creases so that you could see that it was a flower, you know. And I did a lot of that with my finger, and it, you know, it blended pretty well. Like, they're actually not that bad. Looking at this page makes me realize like they weren't that bad, but I don't know if you can see, let me try to zoom in. I don't know if you can see like this streaky thing. That is bad. For oil pastel, that's pretty bad. You don't want that, because it's like little parts of the oil pastel coming off and it's like sticking to the page. It doesn't make it very seamless, but it actually adds a lot to this page in terms of texture. So it actually turned out pretty well, but that does indicate a bad oil pastel. I'm definitely gonna turn this into canvas painting. I already planned on it because I just love the colors that I used. Again, we playing with these oil pastels. So like, this is around the time I was really realizing like I really love oil pastels. Like, I love the texture. I love how like fun they are. They're like crayons, you know, because they're like big tips, and like, you know, I use a palette knife to go in and get details sometimes. I'm pretty sure I did that on the other page previously shown. And then this was me like trying to play around with different colors, and I really love orange and yellow, so I put them together with green. I just love the way it looks. It looks very tropical. And then I went in with my palette knife and did like this thing. I don't know why I did that, but I kind of like it. I think I was just playing around, honestly, on this page, but I really love these flowers. Gotta bring this concept back and turn it into something else. And that's another reason you should finish your sketchbook, because I'm literally going through the sketchbook and being inspired. Like, I'm inspired by my old artwork, and you know, you can be inspired by anything. You can be inspired by yourself. So you should definitely finish your sketchbook so that you can look back at them like this. Gotta make sure these pages aren't sticking together. And this was another orange and like reddish kind of yellow painting. The yellow kind of got drowned out because, again, I was using apple barrel, so kind of got drowned out. But I really like this page. It looks like, if you can tell, it's like bursting out, like the lines and stuff. It's like bursting out. Another orchid here. I had seen this orchid. I wasn't sure if it was fake or not, but I'm pretty sure there's orchids like this, just not in this color. But like, it had like the streaks here and like dots in it, and I loved it. So I painted it in this color, and I really like that. And this was another like orchid. I didn't like this one as much. I was kind of confused when I was painting it. So me learning how to paint flowers more, and like kind of doing practice with flowers and this flower, and then like adding like all this color and the abstraction with the gradient and different shapes, I realized that I like that a lot. And I always add like these dots to my paintings. I feel like it brings things together, so I add them a lot. And then I have this on the other side. I saw this painting by Claude Monet, and I really liked it, and so I kind of took some of the concepts and then like recreated it. Like, I saw these lilies in there, so I wanted to recreate that, and I wanted to be like some type of like water scene, and the water's like coming this way. And I have this flower. I really love this flower. I went over this flower so many times, and I think the layers are what made it look nice. Like, I really like it. And then I added some of these colors back here, and like a bunch of different little shapes and outline of flowers, and then the lilies and some of the green kind of like grass coming back. So it's like kind of, that's why I say I want to get into landscape, because it's kind of like landscape. It's just an abstraction of a landscape where I'm adding in elements of a landscape that kind of, you can tell they're landscape, but you can't really tell at the same time. So it's like the grass coming in here, and this is kind of like water. These are the lily pads. And then there's like big lilies on the water, which I don't know if that would actually happen in real life, but I wanted it to happen, so I painted it. And yeah, I really like this page. Definitely going to turn this into a canvas painting because I like the thought process behind this. So this is actually this way, and I did this with chalk pastels. So I was kind of confused about the different types of pastels. So there's oil pastels, and then there's like these chalky pastels, and there's another type of pastel. I don't know all the names of them, but this one, the texture was definitely different because it was more chalky, and like when you smeared it, it was much more like movable, and this texture is different. So there's these chalk pastels in here, and then some color pencil, and then some regular oil pastels. I was just playing with these chalk pastels. Honestly, there was no thought to this page. I just wanted to play in color, make some flowers. This is like a little tie-dye looking flower. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And then I have this page where I was just playing with color pencil. Honestly, I have this like small pack of Prismacolors, and I was just playing in those. An interesting page. I stuck with one color scheme. I really like that, and I really like this flower. Prismacolor color pencils are really blendable, so I was having lots of fun with that. And I did like some tie-dye stuff in here. I really like this concept that I did, this little tie-dye thing. I think I definitely want to recreate that. And I added like some shapes, and the background kind of came with everything because color pencil is obviously harder to go over this whole page, so I think it came in spurts. I think I did most of this first and then went in with the background, which is something that's a little bit harder to do with paint in my style. So like, I was having a lot of fun with these color pencils. I love this page actually, because I like this color scheme a lot, and these flowers, they came out great. This was me playing with these charcoal pencils that I have. I have charcoal pencils, charcoal, like the little I keep wanting to call everything pastel. It's not a pastel, but it's in the shape of like that, and it's charcoal. So I had like an art kit, and it had all this stuff in it, and hadn't used it in years. So I just wanted to try it out, and like made this little black and white flower. I think I want to experiment with painting in black and white. Just experiment with like the values, and just to do it, honestly, just to do it, because I hadn't done it before. And this was me using like excess paint. So every time I have a bunch of paint, I don't like to waste paint, because like, especially now, like paint is expensive, you know, and I just don't like to waste paint. So I took it, and I took the palette knife and did like that, and it honestly came out pretty cool. Like, it looks cool. All these different like colors. It looks like something you would see like on a canvas in a museum. I think my either sister or my mom told me that. It's very like this abstract type of like, it's just a texture really. Like the texture is like what really makes it have that feel. But I like it. And then next we have more abstract paintings of like flowers and shapes and gradients, because that's like my favorite thing to paint. And I experimented with the pink and purple and darker pinks and yellow. Of course, I love yellow. And I really like these flowers. At the time, I didn't think they came out that great, which they kind of didn't, but I kind of like, I don't paint purple flowers that much, so I think that's why I ended up doing it. And I like all the shapes and stuff. I like the different gradient. And I focus less on trying to make the background blend and just put stuff on top of it. And I just really like to work in layers. And the paint that I use now is easier to blend, but I still do that because I just like to work in layers. And I like to use different materials to create texture. I see I did that on this page as well. And then have this page. This was like a concept I was trying to do with like a flower vine, and I guess this is kind of like an ocean scene, but it's like where the sand is pink and this ocean is coming up and it's blue here. I'm not really sure what it is. I'm probably thinking of something different than I was thinking back then, because I probably wasn't thinking all that into it. But I just did like this gradient and created shapes and more like mini flowers. I have this vine up here with these mini flowers on it. That's so cute. I actually love that a lot. I think I'm going to turn this into a canvas painting. I like this concept. And now that I'm actually thinking of a concept, I want to paint it again. It's really nice. I like how these flowers came out. I definitely paint tiger lilies better now, but I really like this. This is my first attempt, I guess. I really like it. This was an experimentation. I honestly only made this page so that I could paint flowers because I just wanted to get better at painting flowers in different angles. So I did this one like in a more upturned angle, I guess. I don't know how to explain that, but if you can see, you'll know what I mean. Like this type of angle I wanted to do it in, and then I did different colors and just like painting flowers. I just wanted to practice painting flowers, and so I just did this background just so that I can do that. But I actually like the background as well, even though it wasn't intentional or thought out or anything. I kind of like how I did it with these tricks of color. I think I did the yellow first, and then I had extra paint from this, and I had it white on my brush as well, and I just went in like that. Kind of like what you do with one stroke painting, I guess. And then this page was a fail. I really hated this page, and I remember like literally being like, I went over this flower so many times. I was actually, I think, trying to paint a chrysanthemum, and it was not going well. I just could not figure out like what I was doing wrong, and I did the background and everything, and I was focusing on so much on this flower that the background also suffered, and then it didn't even turn out well, in my opinion. I did not like it at all. And then I was literally gonna rip the page out of my sketchbook. That's how much I didn't like it, which was crazy because I created pages I didn't like in here before, and it was fine. But for some reason, this page was really irking my nerves, and I was going to rip it out, and then I didn't, and I just wrote, "You should make bad art," to remind myself of the purpose of this sketchbook and the purpose of me doing art. So I'm glad I kept this page in here, even though I definitely don't like it, and I still don't like it. But, you know, at least I was trying, and I'll probably try again. Chrysanthemums are harder to paint than I thought that they were. So this page was literally probably me using old paint, because I do that a lot. So I'm using old paint, and I really like how these colors come together. This purple and yellow and green right here, definitely going to be a color scheme I use on a canvas. I really like this area right here, and this pink is probably going to be in it too, this darkish pink. So yeah, I like this. What page is this from? Maybe it's from this page. It looks like it's from that page, but there's no green in that page, but not that much. Yeah, maybe it is from that page. Anyway, and then I have this page. This is a concept. I guess this is the sun, and it's like going out. You know, when you view the sunset, sometimes the sky goes like pinkish purple. I think that's what I was doing here. So this is the sun, and then as the rays go out, it gets darker, and then it goes into like pinkish purple. And then I just did like flowers going up, vines and stuff. I started experimenting more with like the vines and the leaves, because I wasn't painting that much before. I was just not paint any leaves or anything. But I started experimenting with that more, and I really love this page. This is a beautiful page. I like the different colors and the shapes in here. I'm definitely going to make this into a canvas painting because I really like it. I like this flower especially because it's a different angle, and I experimented with different angles a lot, trying to learn how to paint in different angles of flowers. This was me playing my Prismacolors. I literally just was trying to paint a flower. I mean, color a flower. I paint so much. I was using color pencils and using them to make a flower, and ooh, I like how that feels. I like how that texture feels. Pretty sure, I guess I didn't like it, or I was just playing around probably on my couch or something. And then this page was me also playing around. No concept for this page. I literally think I just made the background blue. I think I did try to do a little bit of darker blue in the background, but you can't really see it that well. It's over here. It's kind of covered up. I did like dark blue and then like blue. I would do like a different gradient throughout the whole page. And then I did like some flowers, leaves going through like the whole page, more flowers, outlines of flowers, different shapes. And yeah, and my little signature. And get a different angle. And also, disclaimer, I literally haven't said anything about this yet, but I literally had an older sketchbook that got stolen out of my car. I had so much other art in there that was even more of an evolution to what this sketchbook is, because there was other art in there that was like different, but you can tell I was starting to lean toward this. And someone stole my art bag out of my car. I guess they thought that it was valuable because of the duffel bag, and they literally took my art supplies that were in there and my sketchbook. It was horrible time, but you know, I still have this sketchbook, to look back on. But I really wish I had that sketchbook so that you guys could see even more of evolution to what this style is as well. This was, I literally find inspiration anywhere. I actually did not like this page when I first did it, but I used to work at Starbucks, and Starbucks came out with a cup that was like, actually, I'm gonna show you guys the cup. This cup was on sale at Starbucks. Nobody bought it. I was so surprised because I loved it so much, obviously, because I love flowers. So I think, and it's so like reminiscent of my art style, right? So I found this cup and I really loved it, and I wanted to like paint this color scheme and concept, and this is what I came up with. And I was so upset because I felt like I couldn't get the colors right. I felt like I didn't look like it, and I felt like I failed. So then I started doing this on top, which kind of adds to it. I don't know, I kind of like it now, but back then I was like, ooh, this was not good. I feel like I could do a better job now with better paint, but this is what I came up with then. So let me know if you guys think, if you guys see what I was trying to do. But yeah, it's still nice. I think I'm super hard on myself sometimes, and I think a lot of artists struggle with that, being too hard on themselves. Literally, like I just said, I find inspiration anywhere. I'm gonna make a video about that, but somebody created a digital artwork. It was like graphic design, and it was like these type of colors, and they added like shapes and spirals, and it was like a flower. It was a lock screen. So it was a graphic design, like digital artwork for a lock screen. So I had made it my lock screen. And then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna paint this. I never painted anything like that before. I didn't really understand how I could get colors that light, but this is what I came up with. And I absolutely love this page. And I like this page so much because I stepped out of my comfort zone. I went against what I usually do, and I tried to create something new. And that is the whole purpose of being an artist. And I absolutely love this page. I also put my own like spin on it and everything. I don't know if I'm gonna make it into a canvas painting because I kind of like that it's in here. And I think it's just a representation of my play and my creativity as an artist, and I always want to keep this part of me as an artist. So yeah, okay. And then this was something I did in my car while I was waiting one day, and it's just me playing with oil pastels and playing with flowers. I really like these flowers. I did them well, and I like lavender. My boyfriend likes lavender a lot, so I did these. And the background I did after the fact, so that's why there's so much white like left in it, but I like it. I like this page. I just really love oil pastels, honestly. I always find a reason to play with oil pastels. There's another thing I did that same day. I was just playing with like line art. You know, like you ever see those paintings where it's like the line and it creates something? I don't know. I see those a lot. I don't know how to explain it, but I was trying to create that, and then I did like some flowers. So pretty simple. If you are familiar with my other channel, might have saw this in a vlog that I did. I went to the park and I just wanted to do art outside. I love painting outside, so I brought my oil pastels and my watercolors out there, and I love putting oil pastels on top of watercolor. I realized that this day. I did watercolor, and then I added like some oil pastel, and in that set there's metallic watercolor. I don't know if you can tell. Can you tell? I don't know if you can tell, but really love this page. I don't know if I'm gonna turn it into a canvas, but I do really like this page. I added like some stickers to it that I had some like star stickers, so I added those to it. My signature. I love making these little aura balls, so I made some aura balls. And yeah, again, experimenting with painting purple flowers because I don't paint purple flowers that much. Another henna page. I was experimenting, trying to practice some henna designs before I did it on my hand, and I just put some excess stickers on this page because I had so many stickers that came in that bag. So many blank pages. I don't know, I think I was planning paintings here. More blank pages. I cut something out of this page. I think I painted something there and cut it out. Oh yeah, I did paint something here and cut it out. I'm gonna insert it if I can find the picture. I was doing more flower practice, so I was trying to experiment with different colors in my oil pastels, and then also doing little like designs and stuff. And yeah, I really like this flower. I really like these colors that I use. I wasn't familiar with painting a flower with these colors, just like backgrounds with these colors, so I use these colors. I think it's a hibiscus, and this lily, and then this tiger lily, I'm guessing. I really like the yellow things. I don't think I had done that before, so I was just playing around, but I really like this page. I actually think, no, these are still the old oil pastels. Yeah, because I see those streaks. Yeah, these are still the old oil pastels, but I was really loving them, clearly. I was doing more flowers, experimenting with this color, and just playing around, really. This page I did on like a little art date with my boyfriend, and I think this is watercolor, and then, yeah, I think it's actually just watercolor. Yeah, I did watercolor, playing around with putting different colors together. And I really love how this like turned out. I think I really spent a lot more time trying to make these flowers look good and like practicing with watercolor a lot more. So I really like this page for that. And then I use like glue and put glitter on it just because. And I really like how that came out too. That's very cutesy. I don't know why I did that, but I like it. And then I put my signature in acrylic marker, because acrylic marker pops so much, it comes out so like opaque. So I put that on top of here instead of like watercolor. And then I got some flowers. This flower down here looks like it doesn't even belong. It looks so muted, but I kind of like that too. This is my boyfriend. My boyfriend made this for our art date. It was like laying like this, and we were working on each side, and he made an well, it looks like an angry sun, but it has a smiley face, so it's not an angry sun. So like the sun, and I guess he was doing a flower, because every time we do art, he's trying not to do what I'm doing, but he always ends up doing what I'm doing. But no, he does his own thing, and he's creating like this little landscape. I'm surprised he didn't draw an eye. He likes to draw eyes and stuff. But yeah, this is actually a cute flower. He did a good job. Good job. And then this page, I was bored one night and I was playing in my acrylic apple barrel ones still at this point. I actually did have my other paints at this point, but they are so good, I was scared to use them in my sketchbook, but I got over that pretty quickly. And then some lavender, so this is me practicing painting orchids. And like I was telling you before, like you can see I did a good job. It just looks more like uniform. It still kind of looks like my type of style. But I just like the other orchid better, but I still like this orchid. I think it's just the type of colors I use. I wish I would have went in with like a light blue like this one and went back in here, but I still really like it. I really like this background, and I like the kind of abstraction with, these are like the leaves, but it's kind of like abstraction. And I really love this flower I did here. And then like just this little spurts of blue. And every time I add like a spurt of color, I add it in multiple places to bring it all together. And that's why the layers thing is so important to me. Like I really like working in layers. So yeah, I really like this page. I think I am going to turn this into a canvas painting actually. And I actually have some orchids that I was going to paint from real life. My boyfriend got me some orchids, so that will be in the next vlog. And I think we're going to add this in there, add this to the concept. But again, this is when I got my Artesio oil pastels. Do you see how creamy that is? Like, that is literally so creamy. It's just, it's amazing. And I was using my finger to like blend it out. And the transfer is not bad. As you can see, I literally put it on the next page where my other artwork was, and it didn't transfer. Like, it's great. They're great. And I got a 72 pack. I wish I would have got the 100 and something pack, because I need even more colors. Why do I have no recollection of doing this page? Okay, I really don't. But I think that this is oil pastel. This is oil pastel in the back. Oh wait, this whole thing is oil pastel. Oh yeah, these are the new ones. Okay, that's why it looks so good. This looks like watercolor for a second. But yeah, so this is oil pastel, and I did like this lavender. This is not a lavender. What are these called? Lilies? No. So my boyfriend had sent me a flower, and he asked me to paint it. He was like, oh, I think you should do this flower in your art. And so I did one. Can't remember what it was called, but I will put it in the video if I find out. I was just experimenting with these oil pastels, I think, because I wanted to see how they blended with colors. And as you can see the different variations of this color, and these oil pastels are really good. I will have them linked down below. I highly recommend them. I am not sponsored by them or anything. I just really love these oil pastels. And I could get so many different color variation. The gradient is great. And these flowers here, and then this flower. I started this with white, I think, and I went in and I added more white around it, and it just looks great. I love how this flower came out. I really like this page, actually. I think I want to make this into a canvas painting. And then this page, I hated this page when I did it. I was just playing in some acrylic paint, my old acrylic paint, so the apple barrel, and I think like this is when I was telling myself I couldn't use those expensive paints in the sketchbook. And so I was trying to paint with these and I just wasn't liking it. But now that I'm looking at it, I like it a lot. Like I be so hard on myself for no reason. But I actually really like this page. And what is that? I didn't notice that. Anyway, I actually really like this page. I like these colors. I like this little thing I did down here. I took the knife and just like went with like some pink. The gradient back here is like a fiery orange to like a red, and then I added these pastel like muted pinks on top. I really like these flowers. I really like this flower. I don't really like that flower as much, but it's okay, it adds something. And the green, I really like this page. I don't know why I was being so difficult on myself, but yeah. I started using my oil pastels to make little rough oil pastel concepts for my canvas paintings. So when I have a big canvas painting, because I'm not used to painting so big, when I paint smaller, I don't really do this as much, but when I paint big, I do this a lot. And so I would paint up like a box, and then I would use oil pastel to like plan out like the painting. And this is for my mom, so I had planned this out. This, I was just playing with these markers. They are not a hoo-hoo, they're right here. Let me see what they are. These markers. So I use Tombow markers as well as King art markers on this page, and I just did like flowers with it, and I was trying to like, so the blend with these is obviously going to look different, and what I started going for when I realized that I couldn't blend it the way that I usually can blend stuff was like a less seamless blend, but you can tell that it's a light color and then it's a dark color on top. So that type of like separate layer of blending, but you can tell, I don't know, I really like that style actually. So then I started doing that, and I like how it came out, and then I went over it with the pen, and I can't decide if it looked better without the pen or with the pen. I like it with the pen. Yeah, I like this page. I was just doodling and like playing around. This was me trying to use paint from that painting concept that I just showed you. So I painted it, and then this was the colors that were like left, and so, whoa, that texture is weird. And so I was trying to use the rest of it. This is my golden paint. So golden heavy body acrylics is the paint that I started using, and this is that. This texture is so crazy in here. Like, it holds up. You can see the brush strokes. It's amazing. Love that paint, by the way. This is another concept for the painting that is on the wall over there. This was the oil pastel concept for that painting. I have to say, it's like kind of similar. Not really kind of similar. It's really not for me to make it exactly like it. It's really for me to have like a guide or like put my idea onto paper, so that when I want to reference my idea, I can reference it. Because sometimes when I start painting, I start doing different things than I had originally thought, but I still want the original idea. If that makes any sense. I don't know if that makes any sense, but like, that's why I do these. I really love these color combinations. I don't know why, but I feel like this is the first time I had used these colors together, like this type of green and yellow, and then the pink and light pink. I don't know, maybe I had used them together before, but I hadn't used them in this way, and I really liked it. And then I put purple on top, and I just felt like they made the purple pop, and the background was just amazing. And I used like apple barrel paints. I was just like trying to play around in my sketchbook, and I think actually I was trying to release some emotions. I was sad this day that I had made this, and so I just did it. I didn't think about anything. I just sat there and just painted so that I could like feel better. And so I did this, and then I did these flowers. I really love this page. Definitely turning this page into a canvas painting. I think the energy that came out was good for me. So another reason why I like this page. Boyfriend did, he was using oil pastels in my sketchbook, and he did this. I told you guys he really likes to do the eyes. So he was doing the eyes, and he always does like this, like up and like this. I don't know how to explain it, what he does, but he always does that. And doing like some spirals and this. I don't really know what his thought process is. We're not gonna try to analyze his art, okay? It's great, it's there. And I actually think it's this way. Okay, yeah. I was practicing painting orchids. I did this with oil pastels, my new ones. And I also did this flower up here, and like the vines. I think I just wanted to practice painting the orchids. The background probably came like after the fact, but yeah, so I did this, the leaves and everything, and the orchids were really, really fun. I really liked how I had to figure out how I was gonna add more detail, because obviously oil pastels are bigger and creamier, so I had to figure out how I can use color to add the details of the orchid and make you realize it's an orchid. And some unbloomed orchids. Yeah, really like this page as well. So this is another concept, another oil pastel concept for a painting, and then I did like some flowers I wanted to do. I was literally just brainstorming on this page. Like, I just used oil pastels to brainstorm. I brainstormed some of the colors. And this was some of the paint from the actual painting. I just swiped it on this page. And the painting looks like this, but it's not as vibrant as this, and I really like how vibrant these colors are. But I was trying to match the fan that's in my apartment, because the painting that this is for, I was using it to decorate my apartment. So, but I really like it. Really like this oil pastel concept. I actually think I'm going to make an oil pastel page of just this and like make it like that. That would be cool. This page is yet another oil pastel concept for a painting. It does not look like this that much. It's over here. Actually, it was the painting, if you saw behind me in the beginning of this video, it doesn't look like this that much, but it was just the idea, and I do see the elements of this in it. And then this was the paint from the actual painting. I don't know why I do that. I think it's because I keep my sketchbook open and then I just go like that, and then I dip my brush in water. Other oil concept. So this is around the time I started painting on my canvases a lot more. So there's a lot of concepts in here. So this is for the one that is in my room. If you want to see this painting, it is on my TikTok. It came out nice. I like it. It looks like this, actually. Pretty similar. And this was like me writing out my ideas and just brainstorming. And this was me using up excess paint. I don't know what painting this is from. What painting is this from? I don't know what painting this is from, but I was using up excess paint. Pretty cool. I like this color. It's very dark red wine. It's very mystical. I like it. I was painting with my golden acrylic paints, trying to practice some flowers for a prototype, because I'm trying to make this journal design better, and because I want to start my own journal line, and I am using this design as a prototype, but I want to have two designs, and one of them was going to be like a red flower and the other one is white. I was going to make a pink one, but we're still waiting to see. And I was trying to practice the designs. I was having a hard time. I did not like any of them. I did kind of like this one, but now that I'm looking at them with fresh eyes, it's not as bad, but I still don't really like it that much. Let me know what you think, if you like it. But yeah, this is me practicing that. I honestly think I don't like these because the way I mixed the colors was not, I wish that they had more difference between them. I think that was the issue, and I think that's why I like this one more, because there's more difference between the colors. So that's something to think about the next time that I'm sitting down to practice some prototypes. But that's what this page is. I was painting outside and I just painted this, and it was no concept. I just wanted to use green because that's my favorite color, and pink, and I put some oil pastels on top as well. I really like this flower and this like vine. I don't know. I like how it came out. I was just playing around. Oh, this was me playing with watercolor. I was just sitting on my porch. I was just painting, but I didn't get to finish it because it started pouring down raining. But yeah, that is the last page. So that, my friends, is my sketchbook. I am so excited to start my new sketchbook. Get out of here. My new sketchbook is right here. Very much smaller. You see how much smaller it is? I'm very excited about this. And it is mixed media. I can feel, whoa, these pages are thick. Oh yeah, we're gonna have so much fun in here. So I will be using this, I will be decorating this. If you wanna see that, stay tuned on this channel for my next vlog. So that was my sketchbook. I am really excited to finally have gotten the sketchbook tour out to you guys. If you liked it, please let me know. I would love to chat with you in the comments, and bye.